Welcome to our Pymetrics test simulation walkthrough. I'm really excited about this video as for the first time, you'll see the complete assessment covering all 16 games. Our Prepmatter team created the full-length Pymetrics simulation, and if you'd like to practice the game yourself, visit our website. I'll add the link below. In this video, I'll solve each of these games. Given the dynamic nature of Prepmatter simulation, you'll almost always encounter a different scenario. So you can play our simulation game after watching this video as well. If you don't know much about the Pymetrics assessment itself, you may want to first watch our other video we launched a few months ago. You can find it on our YouTube channel, where I've explained each of the games in detail and gave some tips to maximize your score. Alright, let's begin. If you're new to our channel, my name is Deniz, and I'm the founder of Prepmatter. At Prepmatter, we provide end-to-end support to secure your consulting interview and get the offer. You can check our website to learn more about our courses and coaching services. Also, feel free to add me on LinkedIn. I love getting connected to aspiring consultants. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me. Let's get started with the first game, Money Exchange 1. For this trial, we'll be working with a random participant, and we're asked to follow the instructions closely. Alright. We have $10 to start the game, and in a few moments, we'll be paired with a random participant, and soon we'll have the opportunity to send some of that $10 to our partner, so we can choose somewhere between $0 and $10, and it will be tripled once it is transferred to our partner's account. All right. After that, our partner can return all, some, or none of this money to us. And it is completely up to them. And that part is quite randomized in both Prepmatter simulation and the real-life assessment. All right, let's decide how much of it we want to transfer to our partner. As I said before, we can choose any value between $0 and $10. So personally, I'm a risk-averse person, so I just want to portray myself as a fair person in the actual assessment. So I'm going to split my earnings. So if I made $10, I will give $5. All right, now we sent our $5, which is tripled, and now it is $15 for the partner, and in return we received $5 back from them. That's quite interesting. So when I tried this game a couple times, I would see different results. I remember seeing $2 before, and that would be quite unfair. I've seen ones that I've received $7 or $8, which would be more than fair, and $5 seemed quite fair to me. So now we are required to assess and rate how fair we think our partner was. I'm not going to give 10 because it's not like we received all the money back, but it is on par with how much our partner received at the start, which is also $5. So I'm going to say it's quite fair. So I'll rate it around 7. 7 is a good number. All right, let's move on to the next game. Later on, you'll see that we'll have another money exchange game, and there we'll follow a similar strategy. All right, next we have Keypresses. So this game is fairly short. We'll be presented with a countdown timer, which is usually 10 to 20 seconds. And when the message go appears, repeatedly, we need to hit the spacebar as fast as we can until we are told to stop. And here the official instructions say that we should use the index finger on our dominant hand to press the spacebar. But if you watched our other Pymetrics video on YouTube, you already know that that's not the strategy that we want to employ. So here you can actually use both of your hands, because if you just make your life easier, you can just press it faster. And I read somewhere that the average number of presses per second is around 6. So here, if you have 10 seconds, you should at least aim for a 60. And let's see how much I can do. Let's get started. All right, so as you see, I'm using both of my hands. And hopefully I'll be able to do at least 60. All right, I did 86, which is surprisingly good. I tried this a couple more times and I was only able to get to somewhere between 70 or so that's pretty good. As you get access to the game, please let us know how much you're able to score. But as I said before, any value 60 should be enough. All right, let's move to the next game, which is balloons. So it's quite an interesting game. The instructions are fairly straightforward. So the idea here is we'll see quite a few balloons, and our job will be to collect money as much as possible. But sometimes when we pump the balloons a little too much, there's always a risk of explosion. So we just need to make sure that we take some risks, but perhaps not as much, So as I said before, I'm not a risk taker, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to pump the balloons quite a few times until I reach maybe 30 cents, 40 cents or so. But I don't think I'm gonna take too much risk in the game. Another thing that I want to point out is that usually there's a pattern. So you'll see different colors of balloons, and usually one or two colors will provide inferior outcomes. They're gonna explode much quicker. So what I'm going to do is, as I start the game, I want to identify which colors are favorable, so which ones can get bigger and bigger more easily, and which ones will explode quicker so that I can amend my strategy accordingly. Let's get started then. All right, first we have the red balloon. So let's try to hit 45, 50 cents. Okay, so red seems to be fine. Let's try something similar with yellow, 45 cents. Okay, it didn't explode so far. 45. All right, so yellow and red are quite favorable. Okay, green popped earlier, so we'll bear this in mind. And blue as well. Okay, so I might just not take too much risk when it comes to blue and green. Yeah, popped. All right, let's just go a bit bigger with the red. Here we go. Now, yellow also provides better outcomes. Perfect. So blue is going to be a bit smaller. 40 cents. All right. So with yellow, I'm going a little bit bigger than blue and green, as you see, because we didn't explode it too much. Okay, now with green, let's go smaller, 20 cents. Okay, even with 15 cents, it popped. All right, with red now, I'm trying to make up for the loss that I made earlier, 55 cents. All right, at this point, I'm just trying to make money. So I went a little smaller with the yellow ones. So as you see, the green popped, blue popped as well. So let's go a bit smaller with that, 15 cents, another 15 cents. All right, now let's go a bit bigger with the red one. All right, so far I'm at 7.55 in total, which is not terrible. Okay, so with yellow, let's go a bit bigger, 30. Okay, with green, okay, 20 cent, great. 30, okay, and then last balloon. All right, let's go 25. Brilliant. So I ended up getting $9.25, which I think is quite okay. I tried this game quite a few times and I was able to get somewhere between 8 and 10. So as you get access to the game, I'm quite curious to see how much you're able to score. Hopefully you'll get to 10, but the idea here is you want to take some risks, especially with the colors that are more favorable, and maybe take a bit less risk when it comes to less favorable ones. At Prepmatter simulation, you're able to see the breakdown as well. As I mentioned as I was playing the game, the colors of blue and green are less favorable. So as you see, I popped 3 balloons of each color. And red and yellow, I was a bit more successful and I was able to make some okay money. All right, I think that concludes the balloons game. Let's go ahead and move to the next game. All right, next we have the second money exchange game. Similar to the first game, we are going to be working with a partner and we have $5 to start with. And we'll be given an additional $5. So now we start the game with $10 and our partner has 5. So the setup is fairly the same compared to the first game itself. The difference here is that the money won't be tripled as it gets transferred to the partner. So I'm going to follow a similar strategy and split my earnings and choose 2.5. And at the end, now we're left with $7.5 each. And I believe the transaction was quite fair. So I'm going to go ahead and select 9. Now, this game has a second section where we are also paired with a partner and we've been provided with $5 to start with and another $5. So again, the setup is the same, 10 and 5. The difference of the second section compared to the first section of this game is that now we can also take some money from our partner. Because I want to appear as a fair person, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to give the money and I'm just going to split my additional earnings of $5. So similar to the previous game, I'm going to give $2.5. So now we're left with $7.5 and our partner has 7.5 as well. And I'm going to rate my transaction as fair. So I'll go ahead with 8. And that would conclude this game. Here at the end, you can also find a nice summary of each of the transfers we had in Money Exchange 2 game. So in the first transfer, we gave 2.5 as well as in the second one, and we ended up having the same values. You don't need to apply the strategy, of course, you can try different things, but I highly recommend not to take money from your partner. At least don't take all of the money that they have. All right, let's move to the next game, digits. A sequence of numbers will appear rapidly, I would say every second or so. And we are required to remember the sequence and provide the digits into the computer. And the game will end when we get 3 questions wrong. The last sentence of the instructions is quite interesting. We're asked not to write down our answers as we play. But if you watched our other video on Pymetrics on YouTube before, you know that we highly advise against it. So grab your pen and paper and write down your digits as you see them on your screen. This is going to make your life much easier. Now, of course, we don't want to reach somewhere around 14, 15 digits or so because it is nearly impossible for someone to fully memorize it and then provide the answer. So I've done some research and it looks like the typical maximum someone can comfortably remember is around 9 digits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down 11 digits or so on paper. And then once I reach 11 digits, I'm going to deliberately provide wrong answers so that we finalize the game. And of course, once you get access to our simulation, you can apply whatever strategy you think is best. If you can memorize it, good for you. You should absolutely do this. But if you are like me, 99% of the population, we're going to be finding it hard to memorize it. So you can just write it down. Let's get started and you'll see how I apply it. We'll start with 4 digits. 8826. Let's write it down. 8826. Correct. Now it's 5 digits. 75507. 75507. That's correct. Now 6 digits. 492913. 492913. Correct. Now we're off to 7 digits. 15621117. All right, so as you see, it's not that challenging once you write it down. Of course, if you want to memorize it, please go ahead, but it might be just a bit challenging for myself at least. 061038995. 061038995. All right. Now 9 digits. 7896. 4296. 789. 642967. Brilliant. So that's our 10 digits. You got the point. So I'll just try this and then conclude it. All right, so we have 2103781309. All right, so as you can see, I can go forever almost. So what I'm going to do is stop at this point. I need to provide 3 wrong answers so that we conclude this part of the section. So let me just type in something random. And there's going to be one last question, one last shot. But I'm going to get it wrong on purpose so that we just move on with the rest of the test. All right. And that's it. At the end of this game, we can find a summary. I was able to reach 10 sequences. Of course, you can reach even higher, especially once you write it down. You can easily go 14, 15, and so on. But I highly advise against it, just because it's not that realistic for someone to memorize that many digits. So once you reach somewhere between 10 to 12, try to stop there and then provide some wrong answers so that you just move on to the next section of this game. All right. Next, we have easy or hard. For each trial, we'll choose between two tasks, easy or hard. For the easy task, we'll have 3 seconds to hit the spacebar 5 times. And for the hard task, we'll have 12 seconds to hit the spacebar 60 times, which is pretty challenging. We need to choose between easy or hard. We're given this choice. And if you don't make any choice within 5 seconds, it will be chosen at random for us. For the easy task, we'll make $1. And for the hard task, we can make somewhere between $1.24 and $4.3. But the tricky thing here is that it is not for certain that we can get the amounts that I just mentioned before. Soon we'll see some tasks which will have low, mid, or high probability of winning the prize money. So if I see something with low probability, which is usually at 12%, I'm going to choose an easy task because there's a good chance I'm not going to get the money anyway. So why would I get tired over this? But if I see something of mid or high probability of winning the prize money, I'll choose a hard task. All right, and we'll have 2 minutes in total. Let's get started. All right, probability is low, so I'm gonna go ahead and choose the easy task, easy, and I didn't get a price, unsurprisingly. Now, medium is the probability, so I'm gonna choose a hard one. So if you remember what I mentioned in the Keypresses game, I'm going to use both of my hands to be able to press the spacebar. It just gets a bit easier this way, but I didn't get a price because there was a 50% chance I wouldn't get it. Now, again, it's a medium possibility, so I'm going to choose a hard task. So hopefully this time I can make some money. All right, I made $2.63. Let's continue because the time is precious. So high probability means I'm gonna go ahead and choose a hard task. Unfortunately, the price money isn't that high, $1.33, but hopefully I'll be able to make it at least. Yes, I just made it. So now my total is just around $4. Now high probability, again, I'll go with a hard task. Thankfully, the price money is a little higher this time. Again, these are all at random. As you solve the simulation, you'll also see random numbers. So medium probability, again, I'll go with a hard task. So this time 1.58. So far I'm at $6, not too bad. Oh, I didn't get a price, jinxed it. So low probability, this time I'm gonna choose an easy task. Oh, and I just earned that $1. That's pretty lucky on me. All right, now medium. I'll choose a hard task. This time the price money is pretty good actually. So let's see if I'll be able to make it. All right, I didn't get a price, which sucks. Okay, low probability, so let's choose an easy task. Didn't get a price. Medium probability, let's go with a hard task. All right, so far I'm at $7. Hopefully I'll make this additional $2. Here we go, 9.18. Low probability, let's go with an easy task. Didn't get a price. Medium probability, let's go with a hard task again. And there's no timer of 2 minutes, but I think the countdown is gonna be done, and it is done. So in total, I was able to make $9.18, which is great. I tried this game quite a few times, and usually I'm able to get somewhere between $8 and $10. As you get access to the simulation, I'm curious to see if you're able to collect any more money. If you do, please share your strategy with us. But my strategy is, to recap again, choose hard task if the probability is mid or high, and choose an easy task if the probability is low. Let's move on and play the stop game. For each trial, we'll be presented with a green or red circle. We'll need to press the space bar when we see a red circle, and we'll do nothing if we see a green one. And we need to respond as quickly as possible, but you'll soon see that each circle appears every second or so. So I'm not required to hit the space bar as quick as possible, actually. I'll have maybe half a second or so to decide. But I've tried this game many times, and we will soon see 80 circles. And I'm unable to get 80 correct. It's usually somewhere between 75 and 78 or so. And since I'm gonna be multitasking and speaking as I do it, I may get a few more wrongs, but let's just give it a go and see. Okay, so with the green, I won't do anything. With red, I'm pressing the keyboard. And just like in the actual assessment, unfortunately, there's no tracker for you to keep track of how many circles you've seen so far. So we just need to endure a little bit. And what I really like about the simulation is that those red circles or green circles appear random each time you play the simulation. So it does give you a nice platform to practice and perfect your performance as much as possible. think I got everything correct so far, but I might be wrong. All right, I think we should be halfway there at least. So as you see, I don't need to press the space bar as fast as possible. You know, I take maybe half a second to fully think about it and then press it. All right, we had a lot of greens. Okay. We should be close to the end, I'm hoping. All right, I got 79 correct. Oh, okay, so apparently I missed the red circle and quite curious to see how you're able to perform. I don't think it's that easy to get to the 80, but if you do, please let us know because I tried it maybe 5, 10 times and I couldn't get there. All right, so as you see, the game is not that challenging, and even though we don't have specific benchmarks in terms of what is the threshold, we believe that anything, within 5 to 10% of error should be acceptable. So as long as you arrive 70 above, that shouldn't be bad at all. The next game is cards. It's a bit of a complicated game, so let's read the instructions carefully. The goal of the game is to win as much money as possible by drawing cards. Some cards will earn us rewards, some cards will have a penalty and we will lose some money. We'll start with a $2,000 loan, and we can click on any of the decks. In total, there's going to be 4 decks, and we can just draw cards from any of those decks. And we are free to switch from one deck to another, and as often as we want. And we just need to keep drawing cards until the game is over. Let me tell you about my strategy before I play the game. Most likely, I'll see 1 or 2 decks that will give inferior outcomes. Most likely, I will lose a lot of money if I end up withdrawing a lot of cards from those decks. So I want to spend a few rounds first just trying to figure out which deck or decks could provide those worse outcomes, and then I'll focus on the other 2 or 3 decks that will give me better outcomes. But at the same time, I don't want to draw cards from only one deck because it is also known that if you keep drawing cards from the same deck, soon you're going to have inferior outcomes. So I also want to vary up my strategy. So every 2-3 cards, I want to move on and just get my card from another deck. But I'm also curious to see how we're going to perform because there's not only one strategy. So if you end up getting better results with applying another strategy, let us know in the comments. Let's start with the game. All right. So let's just try to explore the decks. So I lost $10 from the first deck. So let me just move on and try with the second. Okay, second deck could be a good deck. Third could be a good deck. Fourth could be a good deck. So for now, the first deck doesn't look great, but I'm just going to try again to confirm my hypothesis. Yeah, first deck again gave me bad luck. Okay, so it looks like the first deck is the deck I'm going to avoid as much as possible. So I'm going to be playing with the second, third, and fourth decks more. All right, so I'm just going to click twice each deck. Okay, so let me request some money. Okay, I lost some on the fourth deck, so I'm not going to use it for a while. Let's just, oh, okay, here we go. The second deck gave me $200 of a loss. So it is also known that even if you see one deck as a good deck, there's always going to be like one big loss you may incur. So don't let it discourage us. We just need to continue applying our strategy where we just try different decks. All right, so the second one is not giving me any good outcome. So let me just try the first one again because the first deck wasn't great at the start. Okay, here we go. That's good. So we made up our loss a little bit. So I'm going to now continue working on the third and fourth decks more because the first and second ones gave us some bad outcomes. So just go and try third again and fourth again. Okay, the fourth gave me a bad result. So let me try the first one. Wow, okay. So the first deck initially gave me a pretty bad result, so I didn't select it, but for some reason, I managed to get very good outcomes from the first deck, so I'll continue playing with it, but I won't play with the second one too much. All right, third deck, fourth. Okay, the first one again. Okay, I keep losing it, so let's stop that. Third, fourth, third, fourth. Okay, let's try the second one. Last time I tried, I wasn't that lucky with it. Okay, great. Let's try the third and fourth again. So as you see, I keep playing with third and fourth because even the loss we made in the fourth one, it wasn't that bad. Okay. Okay, that's pretty good actually. So we don't have a lot of clarity on when the game is gonna finish, so we just want to continue the strategy as much as possible. I'm just curious to see what the first and second deck will give me. So the first deck, as you see, we're getting amazing results from it lately. So I think it's good to select it here and there. But let's continue with third and fourth more. Okay, let me just select first. No, I cannot. Okay, the game is done. It looks like my final amount is 6,885. And each time I played this, I ended up getting different numbers, but it's usually around 6 to 7K. So my strategy here was that I avoided some decks at the start because they weren't giving me any good outcomes. I only got back to them towards the end of the game. That gave me amazing outcomes. And I'm curious to see how we're going to perform. The key thing here is for you to first identify which decks work better for you and try not to just select from one deck only. All right, let's move to the next game then. The next game is arrows. If arrows are blue or black, we need to use the side buttons to indicate which direction the center arrow points. And if the arrows are red, we use the side buttons to indicate which direction the side arrows point. So in summary, if it's blue or black, I need to focus on the middle. If the arrows are red, I need to focus on the sides. It's not very straightforward, so feel free to spend some time reading the instructions before you take the assessment. And in total, there's gonna be 135 rounds in total, which is huge. It's fairly quick, perhaps every second or so we'll see the arrows. So it should take us 2 to 3 minutes in total. But I've tried it quite a few times and I'm not very good at this game. Out of 135, I'm definitely gonna make some mistakes. So let's get started and you can also try it once you get access to the simulation. All right, before I start, I need to remind myself, blue or black, focus in the middle. So far, no red. One red. I'm basically just looking in the middle. And if I see red, then I focus on the sides. But basically my eyes are always pointing towards the middle. All right, sorry, I can't speak too much as I do this. Very tricky. Definitely got some wrong. It's all provided at random, so as you practice the game, you'll definitely see different combinations of arrows. It's getting very tiring, I must say. So I don't know if you're probably like halfway there now. I'm not super happy with the performance so far. I keep reminding myself, like, if it's red, it's side. Sometimes I can't make a decision, so I just randomly press a button. Oh, it's gonna be fun to see the result. All right, I got 124 correct out of 135. I wouldn't say this was my best performance, but I think it does the job. Looking into the analysis, so for the blue or black arrows, I did 88 out of 94, so I missed on 6. And for the red arrows, I missed on 5. So statistically, I'll say I may be making a bit more errors when it comes to red arrows. So if I were to take this test, I would definitely practice this a couple more times just to make sure that I feel a bit more comfortable with the dynamics of the game. So feel free to try it a few times and comment below if you managed to get 135 right. Let's move on to the next game, Lens. Here we will see two different faces. One will have a little mouth, the other one will have big mouth. The difference of the mouth lengths isn't that much. So I'll show you a trick in a second what I do, but basically I place the cursor to the edge of the mouth so that I can differentiate between little and big mouth. And we need to press left if it's little, right if it's big. And if you get it right, we may be rewarded with some money. So the goal is to maximize the money as usual. All right, let's begin, and please pay attention to where I'm placing the cursor. All right, that's big mouth, that's small mouth, big mouth. Okay, that was a little one. Big one. Okay, so basically I just moved the cursor to the small mouth now. So I should be able to get most of them right. So I press right if it's big, makes sense because it falls on the right side of the cursor, and I press left if it falls on the left side of the cursor. I think that's a good way to memorize it. Okay, now after this, it's all about repetition. So I should be able to get most of them right. But as you see, I'm not really making money each time. Sometimes there is no reward provided. It's all about luck. Also, just like in the real life assessment, unfortunately, there's no tracker for me to see how many faces are left and so on. So I just need to power this through. Oof, okay, that was my bad. Got mixed up with the directions. As you see, sometimes I'm making 0.1, sometimes I'm making 0.5. This is all set random. If it wasn't for the cursor, I don't think I'll be able to perform that well, so make sure that you do that. All right. Hopefully we're towards the end of the game. So far we accumulated almost $9, which is good. So my score should set the benchmark for you, so hopefully you'll be able to score higher. I must say it gets a bit boring after a while. Okay, we reached above $10. In my opinion, this test doesn't really test the level of attention. It's more about the endurance, because once you get the cursor right, you can get 99% of the questions right. Oh, okay. That was my bad. All right, finally we're done. In total, there were 9 faces, and I got 87 correct. I think at the start, I wasn't entirely sure where to place the cursor, so I ended up placing it first, I think, on the big mouth, because I wasn't really sure what the first face was. And then once I adjusted back to the small mouth, then it got much easier. And I believe I did 2 wrong questions because I just made a material mistake. Instead of clicking on the left, I think I clicked on right, or the other way around. So of course, you can make 1 or 2 mistakes. I'm sure that's 100% tolerable. But yeah, if you ever manage to score it perfectly, 90 out of 90, let me know. But looking into where I made a mistake, yeah, small mouths were correct. It's more about the big mouths. Okay, so if I were to practice again, I'll just pay a little extra attention to my strategy at the start and make sure that I pay a little extra attention to the direction that I'm pressing. All right, that concludes this game. All right, the next game is Towers. You may have heard of Tower of Hanoi. That's what this game is based on. The goal is to make the bottom towers match the target towers using as few moves as possible. And we can only move the top disk on a tower, and we can only move 1 disk at a time, and we just need to drag it for us to move it. We can undo a move or we can start over, but these are not advised, of course, because the goal is to minimize the number of moves as much as possible. Given the dynamic nature of the simulation, we will be encountering a different scenario each time we play, so feel free to practice this as many times as you want. So hopefully I got something less challenging. All right, so at the top, you can see our target towers, and at the bottom, you see the current endowment. So on the right, it's going to be empty. So why don't I move the yellow one in the middle? And now all I need to do is move somehow the red one from the bottom to the top. So to do this, why don't I get rid of the green one in the middle, which is exactly the one that matches the middle anyways. And I'm just gonna move away the pink because that's the one that I need to move back again. So now let's move the red away on the third. And now I can just move the pink to the first because at the target tower, this is what it was represented. And next, I need to move the blue. So let me just move the blue to the left and red on the first. All right, 8 moves. As each time I play this game, I encounter a different scenario. Of course, the number of moves may change. So far, it varied between 7 and 11 for me. So now that you watched this video, you can also check out this particular scenario and let me know if I could have done anything better. And as you get access to the simulation, curious to see what kind of scenarios that you encounter, and hopefully it's not going to be anything challenging. In the actual assessment, we mostly have seen the same scenario being asked, but just in case they vary up those scenarios, good to practice this as much as you want. So the simulation is going to be helpful for that. All right, let's move on to the last game of the core 12 game set, and that is faces. So here we will see different types of photographs of people showing different emotions, and we need to choose the word that will best describe it. Some photos also will have a short description to help us with identifying what kind of emotions that they're showing. And in total, we won't have too much time, so 7 seconds for the short form of questions and 30 seconds for the ones with the description. Let's get started with it and see how well we do. This is a story of a woman climbing a mountain. She gets up from camp to find the weather has improved and she can see the top. What emotion is this woman feeling? I think she's feeling hope, but let's see the other choices. Anger, determination, disgust, fear, happiness, pain, sadness, surprise, puzzlement. Okay, hope is great. What emotion is this woman feeling? Happiness. I think that's straightforward. Next, what emotion is this man feeling? Again, I think that's happiness too. Next, what emotion is this woman feeling? Okay, so I think it's gonna be fear. Hopefully. Next, This is a story of an office worker with celiac disease who has found out that someone has stolen her special gluten-free lunch from the communal fridge for the third time this month. Okay, so she is frustrated or angry. Angry is here. I think it must be that. She looks angry. Next. This is a story of a man who's out looking for his missing cat. He hears the noise and sees that it's stuck up a tall tree. Thing is fear, but let's check the other options. Surprise, sadness. No, I'm gonna go with fear. What emotion is this woman feeling? Pain maybe? Well, I wasn't sure actually about that. Hopefully it will be correct. We'll check later. This is a story of a man watching the news and seeing news of a local popular cafe being robbed. So could be anger. Disgust? Probably not. I mean, they're in a way similar, but I'm just gonna go with anger. This is a story of a basketball player who needs to score a free throw in order for her team to take the lead. I'm gonna say determination for that. She looks determined. All right. This is a story of a woman who is out for a walk and spots a rare bird of prey in the trees. Maybe puzzlement, right? Because it's a rare bird, or it could be surprise. I'm gonna go ahead with surprise because it has a positive connotation. What emotion is this man feeling? I'm gonna say determination or anger. I'll go with determination. I wasn't sure about that again. This is a story of a young artist waiting for the results of a major art competition. She's worked on her submission for months and is now sitting in the audience, waiting for her name to be called. Her heart races as the announcer starts listing the winners. I think she has hope. What emotion is this woman feeling? Looks like a surprise party. I'm gonna go ahead with surprise, not fear. Oh, I forgot to click on it as I was explaining. So let's just review our answers. So the first one is correct, second one is correct, third, fourth. Sadness or pain. Okay, so I selected pain, but it was sadness. Okay, now that I'm looking at it, that was correct. This one was, I said anger, disgust. Okay, fine. I understand why. I also wasn't sure as I was selecting it. And let's see, the last one is correct. And yeah, I was just about to click, but then the time ran out. So it's a good learning. You need to act a bit fast here. In Prepmatter simulation, you'll encounter different questions as well, so you can practice more. So that concludes the first 12 core games. This set is being asked most frequently by Pymetrics, but we also received some reports that they ask different questions too. So that's why we've also added those 4 bonus games. Let's go ahead and play those so that you can see it for the first time. I don't think these games are available anywhere else. All right, the first game is magnitudes. We'll be given 2 items, either fractions or images with yellow and green dots. For fractions, select the larger fraction, and for the images, select the image with the higher proportion of yellow dots. This is a little tricky, so I'm not expecting to get everything right, but let's just see how well I do. So we'll have only 5 seconds as well, so there's definitely a time pressure here. Okay, yellow dots, that was an easy one on the right. Larger fraction on the left. Larger fraction on the left. Larger fraction. Okay, this has to be on the right. I'm gonna go ahead with left for this. Oh, this one's tricky. I'll go with left. Larger fraction should be on the right. Okay, this was an easy one. That's the left. And that's left as well. And one more. Okay, so I got everything right. It didn't go as bad as I initially thought. I know that it can get a little tricky given some fractions if you're not super comfortable with math. For example, looking into the visuals, overall, I didn't find it much challenging. Math could be a bit more challenging. I personally feel comfortable around it, as you might have seen in our case interview videos and all, but I understand why some people might struggle here. Fantastic. So this is the first game of the bonus game set, magnitudes. Let's move on to the second one, sequences. So in the sequence game, we'll be shown a sequence of numbers, and in the empty box, we just need to type the number that completes the sequence, and we'll press enter at the end. We'll have 30 seconds to complete it, so hopefully we'll be able to finish everything on time. All right, let's begin. 1, 3, 8, 15. Okay, so let me just see how to do this. 3 to the power of 2, 9 minus 1, 8. 4 to the power of 2 minus 1, 15. So 5 to the power of 2, 25 minus 1, 24. Not that easy. 56, 50, 41, 29. So let's look at the difference. 6 difference, 9 difference, 12 difference. There'll be 15 difference. So it'll be 14, I believe. 2, 5, 10, 17. So 3, 5, 7, and 9 would be the difference. So 26. 7, 14. So 7 times 2, 7 times 4, 7 times 8, right? Or I can just do it in the way that's like 7 difference, 14 difference, 28 difference. It will be 56 difference. So 112. 32, 30, 26, 20. So it goes down by 2 more each time. So 2 less, 4 less, 6 less, 8 less. So it will be 12. 4 more, 8 more, 16 more. So 4, 8, 16. That's 24 more, I believe. So it's 8 or 4. Let's just double check. 4, 8, 16, 32 more. So that'll be 92, I think. Let's see. So that's 18 less, 18 less, 18 less, 18 less. So that's 7. 10 difference, 20 difference, 40 difference, 10, 20, 40. That will be 80 difference. So 155. But we have time. Let's double check. 5 times 1, 3, 7, 15. Yeah, this should be correct, I'm hoping. So 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, so 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. 3 plus 5 is 8. 1, 2, 5, 14 this time. This one is a bit tricky. 9. I'm not really sure for this one, actually. I'm just gonna say 25 randomly. 4, 10, 22, 46. So that's, let's check. 6, 12, 24. That's like 48 more with that logic. So that would be 90, 94. 4, 10, so that's 6, 12, 24, 48 more. Yeah, that should be correct. Okay, so 3 to the power of 1, to the power of 2, 3, 4, so 5. So we just need to multiply 8 of 1 by 3, 243. By the way, I'm doing those mentally, but of course you can just, grab a pen and paper and then do everything manually, right? So that's absolutely fine. And if you have a calculator, it might also help. 120, 103, 86, 69. So let's look at difference. 17, 17, 17. There'll be 52. All right, next. 7 less, 11 less, 7 less, 11 less. So that's 4 more. 15 less. There'll be 19 less. So 15, I think. Let's double check. 7 less, 11. Then the difference here is 15, so 4 more, then it's 19 more. Yeah, that should be correct. So 1, 5, 11, 19. So 4, 6, 8, 4, 6, 8, 10. So it will be 29. Okay, we're almost there. 13, 15, 19. Okay, that should be easy. 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's 33. Double check. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah. Then 3, 6, 3, 6, 12, 24, is it? Let's just double check. So we can also do it. Okay, we can do it differently. 4 times 2 is 8 minus 1, 7. 7 times 2, 14 minus 1. So that'll be 49. Because it's 25 times 2 minus 1. All right, 8, 31, 54, 78. So that's 23 difference, right? Yeah, that's easy. So that's nicely 100. 1, 8, 27, 64. So that's 2 to the power of 3, 3 to the power of 3, 4 to the power of 5 to the power of 3, 25, 125. Ooh, last question. 7 more, 9 more, 11 more, 13 more, 53. So let's see how much I got right. Okay, I only made one mistake, which is good. At primary simulation, you can also find your answers at the end of the game. So let's just see where I made a mistake. Maybe that's when I couldn't get the answer. I just wasn't sure. Okay, so here the answer is 41, not 25. So let me see how it's done. So the difference here is just 1, 3, 9, then that's 27. Oh, yeah, that's a tough one. So basically, the difference here is 1, right? 3 to the power of 0. The difference here is 3, meaning 3 to the power of 1, 3 to the power of 2 is 9, then 3 to the power of 3 is 27, so 27 plus 14, 41. Yeah, that's extremely tough. Maybe there's another way of explaining this, but don't expect to fully solve it at 100%. There's almost no way. But I managed to do 19, so if you can just do just like how I did, that should be more than enough. And the simulation generates random questions, so you can always encounter different questions. All right, next is the shapes. This question to me is the hardest in the whole set because soon we'll see a set of shapes where we just need to pick which choice we see within that bigger shape. And we only have 45 seconds to answer each question. It sounds a lot, but in reality, it's really not the case. Okay, let's get started and see how well we're gonna do. All right. So all I'm gonna do is start from the left and see if I see this shape in the question. Yeah, the first one I see, that was easy. This I don't see. The second one, don't see it. Third, don't see it. Fourth, I don't see it. Fifth, okay, yeah, that's the fifth one. I was scared for a second. All right, next. You might be able to do it quicker than me. No, I don't see this. I think I see this. Yeah, that's kind of the one in the middle here. Great. Next. Not this. Yeah, this is it. Just over here. All right. I don't see this one. Don't see this one either. This might be. Yeah, I think that's it, right? It's just the shape here. Definitely tricky. I'm gonna take some time now to chill a little bit because it's been super tiring so far, the first 5 questions. All right, next. I don't see this one. I don't see this one either. Oh yeah, this is it. The V shape. Fantastic. Next. No, it's not. I mean, could be this. I'm not fully sure. Let me just check the other ones. Definitely not this. No, not this one. Not this one. All right, I think it's the first one, but let's just double check. I wasn't sure. So that's the shape in here. Yeah, hopefully it's the first one. All right, we're more than halfway there. Not this. Not this. Oh, could be this. Let's check. I think it's the second one, yeah. it the first one? No. Is it the second one? No. Third? Probably, but let's just skip this one for now. Definitely not the fourth. Let's check the last one. Yes, I think that's it. The one in the middle here. Definitely not easy. All right. I don't think it's the first one, right? No. All right, let's check the second one. Could be the second one just over here. Let me just double check the other ones. Not this one. Oh, this could be actually. Yeah, I feel the fourth one is better than the second one because for the second one, the shape is here. But yeah, the ratios, right? They don't feel correct to me. So the fourth one is the one. All right, 11th question. Yeah, so it's almost like a heart shape, right? Here. Oh, but, oh yeah, I think this is it. All right, next. It's not the first one for sure. Let's look at the second one. It's not that either. Not this. Let's got the fourth. Not sure about this. Let's look at the last. No. Okay, I need to look from the top again. Don't think I got anything right so far. Okay, not the first, that's for sure. Can't be the second. Okay, the time's running out. I'm just gonna select the fourth one, but I'm not really sure about that. All right, next. Okay, two more. No, it's not the first one. Don't think it's the second one either. Probably not the third one either, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I think it's the fourth one. Good, one last question to go. It's not the first one. Let me check the second one. Maybe. I feel this could be it, but let me just check the other three quickly. Which one did we say again? Was it the third one? I forgot. I hope it was the third one. All right, I got 13 out of 14 correctly. Good. As you see, this was very challenging. I really like it, to be honest. I don't think you can find games like this out there. It was extremely tough for us to benchmark this, so we had to create everything from scratch, but it is a tough game, but it's an entertaining game at the same time. Let me see where I made a mistake. It was the last one. I think I just forgot which one to choose, right, at the end. So the correct answer was this, which we can find around, yeah, this one. Yeah, I was supposed to select this one, so I just got distracted there. Fantastic. So the very last game here is back task. It's a game where we will see a sequence of letters that will appear rapidly, one at a time, I would say every second or so. And we just need to press the space bar whenever we see a letter that appeared already 2 letters before. So not the previous one, 2 letters before. So we are given an example here. If we see ABA, CBC, then I just need to basically press A when I see it second time. What I'm gonna do here is, because I practiced this a couple of times before I recorded this video, is after I see the first 2 letters, I'm going to say it out loud, the first 2 letters that I'm seeing, so that I need to see if the letters match with the letters that I'm going to see later on. You'll see how I can apply it in real life, and hopefully it will make sense to you. I don't think I'll be able to get everything correct. There's a lot of letters, 40 letters that we will see, but I hope that I can get most of them right. So let's get started. I just need to press the space bar when I see those letters. So C, E. Now C, E, H, A, H, A, K, 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 M, C, S, K, K, I, K, S, P, A, P, M, H, D, K, E, M, I, M, A, B, A, B, L, R, L, R, K, C, D. Okay, here we go, 10 out of 10. So I hope my technique made sense to you, but you can actually get that right quite easily once you learn how to do that. It's definitely not an easy game, but once you learn the technique, it's definitely manageable. Great, we officially completed all the games. As I mentioned throughout the video, if you'd like to practice the game yourself, go ahead and visit our website Prepmatter, and you'll get access to this simulation where you can find different scenarios than the ones that we've discussed today. I hope you also found today's video helpful. If you did, please give us a like before you go. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.